Oh man, there's lots going on in the watch buying experience, enough to make the heart skip a beat, and when you take it out of the box for the first time you do a little gasp. And these feelings and emotions are hard to articulate. It's kind of beyond words, because firstly we see the watch through our eyes, and then our brains get excited and our hearts develop feelings, and then we buy it and touch it with our hands. Heart skips a beat and that little gasp of breath happens. I can remember I once sold a watch to someone a few months ago, and he opened the box and took the watch out, and he literally hugged his new watch, probably for about a minute. So deciding the watch of your choice is the coming together of a few things. It's the connection to the watch, it's the interest in the brand and the history, the story, the wish fulfillment. And for me, I buy watches with two main mind focuses. One is to help me continue to explore my passion for my hobby of watches, and the other as a watch professional trying to earn an honest living through buying and selling in-demand watches and helping watches with their watch goals. And both require a very different mindset. The professional has a particular set of criteria and skills, and the enthusiast has an entirely different set of needs. You might call it heart versus head decision making. As a watch enthusiast, I'd say experiencing different watches and brands is more important to me than ownership. I'm not too fussed about owning my watches forever. I like to enjoy them for a while and then move them on to their next owner and make way for new experiences for me. It's quite promiscuous, really. As a professional, the criteria around buying a watch and being able to profit from its purchase and sale is more important to me. And the two main factors I need to take into account are, number one, the market, and number two, the watch itself. With the market, I need to consider the demand for the watch. Is it a watch that people are interested in? Do people care about it? Is there a need and a want for it in the market? A watch that is interesting and is in demand is better for me, as it's likely to sell much quicker. Next, there's availability or scarcity of the watch. Are there lots in the market or just a few? Are the watches that I'm competing against nearby to me, or are they on the other side of the world? Taking into consideration important things like duties and sales taxes, the fewer watches available, the better. The better for me, also if they're located far away. Then there's competition, the strength of the competition, the reputation of the other sellers with the same watch, the location of the sellers, the quality of their watch in comparison to mine. If other sellers have the same watch but not in equal condition, or no box or papers, or weaker reputations or bad reviews, that's good for me. And also pricing and the spread of competing watches from low to high. Is there a wide low to high spread or a narrow one? A wider spread, for example, £4,000 to £7,500, is not so good. It means it's more important to me to be at the lower end of the pricing scale to make the watch more desirable and help it sell faster. It's much more competitive in that zone. Ideally, I don't want to take on a watch that's going to take a long time to sell. And after all, why would someone buy a watch for £7,000 when they can get the same watch for £4,500 from multiple other sellers that are nearby? So for me, a narrower spread is much better. For example, £5,000 to £6,000. Then of course there's the watch itself to consider, and the 5 important physical factors to see how quickly a watch will sell and how much I profit from its sale. I need to take into consideration the condition of the watch, aesthetically and mechanically. Does it have box and or papers? Does it have a service history or a manufacturer warranty? The buy price and the price I think I can sell it for. And with vintage watches, there's provenance to take into consideration, the history of the watch and past ownership. Once I've gathered all of this information, I appraise the commercial factors on the watch and I do some market due diligence. And I then enter the data into my point scoring tally, where I mark each contributing factor with a score. And here I take into consideration how easy or hard will the watch be to sell, how quickly or slow is it likely to sell, how much profit is in the watch for me, and the opportunity cost, and that is in buying this particular watch, what other purchases am I potentially missing out on. All of these factors affect my purchase decision making. A watchie, that's the name I give to somebody that loves watches, someone who's a watch enthusiast. Okay, a watch collector is someone who is passionate about watches and enthusiastic around the story behind watches. It's not just the watch itself, it's the brand, the design, the movement, the inspiration behind the design, the creation, the history. It's someone who is close to being addicted to the thrill of researching and acquiring a new watch. Watch collectors are enthusiasts, but they have a profound appreciation for what most people would take for granted. A collector is someone who appreciates watches far more than just the sum of their parts, and has a really deep appreciation for watchmaking in general and the brand history of a watch. It's someone who's become a mini expert on each of their watches, and they wish to educate themselves about the watches far more than what is necessary. They love to learn and study and acquire information and deep dive into rabbit holes of data gathering and knowledge acquisition around their watches. It's like a voyage of discovery. People who tend to be very fussy about their decision making around a watch. They agree that watch goals are an ever moving target, and there's always the next one, and this creates redundancies in our current collections. They find the homework, the research they do on watches fun and exciting and interesting. Personally, for me, owning a watch is a fringe benefit. Experiencing watches is the true pleasure of watch collecting. I don't need to own the watches that I have. Yeah, I think there is. A collector normally means someone who owns a lot of normally high value, desirable watches. Enthusiasts are different. They may love watches equally, but not have the spare income to buy the same level of watches that other people may love. But they still love researching and increasing their watch knowledge.